Well, howdy, boys. Just wanted to update you on my ride quality. I know my old timers seen me that I installed these Thorn springs and King shocks, and I was expecting a better ride. Particularly in the rear is where my issue lied. I think I can show you. I thought if I were to just space the rear airbags a couple inches and a couple inch block, this whole mechanism isn't going to change. So it should ride just good as stock, because the system wouldn't be none the wiser, right? But then once I did all that and I realized that's not the case, I figured this truck must have a gyro. I know this is way off subject here, but follow me. My 01 Honda Prelude SH had a gyro, so why would, and that was an 01, why would a Ram with higher technology just on the interior alone not have a gyro? So I'm like, oh shoot, now I gotta mess with that. And I was a little upset, a little disappointed, but I just left it alone. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to drop this thing back down. I had 2 1/4 up front lift and 2 inch in the back. I'm like, okay, so I need to drop the rear those 2 inches, bring it back completely to stock, and then probably do like a 1 3/4 lift up front. Well, while I was talking to my shop foreman, or a good friend, one of my good friends in life, he's like, dude, why don't you just mess with that sensor back there? I'm like, because I think it has a gyro in there. Because I never messed with the geometry of the sensor. I never touched a single bolt on that sensor or that arm. He's like, oh, what the heck, dude, just try. I'm like, why would I not do that? Like, it's 2 bolts. So that's what I did. I did exactly that. I got me, I think, a 12 millimeter socket, undid those 2 bolts on the sensor, and I pushed the frame of the sensor up. So now it's showing you that the truck's high, and it'll deflate the airbags. Lo and behold, with a little bit of tinkering, that sensor's really sensitive. I was able to max out the driver's side all the way up, just so you guys know what I did. There's not much playing there, but it's enough to make a world of difference, believe me. So I pushed it all the way up, so the truck figured it was a little too high. I think I went from 45.5 inches from fender flare to the ground to about 44 1/4. So that dropped quite a bit. And that alone will tell you there's less pressure in there. So yeah, I couldn't be any happier. So what I was trying to say, driver's side, I pushed it all the way up. On the passenger side, all the way up, just overdoes it of some way, shape, or form. And now, hold on a sec, we got company. So the bottom line is, I did 3/4 all the way up on the driver, or excuse me, on the passenger side. The reason for that is whatever calibration or puncturing in the hole, something's off to where the driver's side airbags it was rock as a salt. It was really hard on the left side, but the right side was really deflated. So to revise, if you put both of them up like I first did, indicating that your rear end's too high to the computer, it'll try to drop it, but for some reason the driver's side airbag holds all the weight. So to aid that, I dropped the passenger side a little bit, so the pressure came off of the driver's side and went onto the passenger side, and I'm pushing 44 1/4 as we said right now. So yeah, I couldn't be happier. It's still a truck, but it ain't a board wagon. So that's all I'm trying to say. You boys out there fighting these stock factory suspensions, that's what it took for me. And no, this truck doesn't have a gyro. So it can't tell the elevation. I figured it would, because like, I know Ram doesn't do it. Before though, you could bring up a screen, it'll show you, your tilt, your approach, and all that. Well, approach, your grade. So I figured it probably has it, but nope, that's not the case with Ram. It just goes off those sensors. And the reason I understood, a lot of people are gonna have an issue with this, because I get all kinds of feedback. Dude, mine rides smooth, mine's a piece of junk, mine's hard as a board wire. Like it's just all over the board. So I figured something's going on there. There's definitely an inconsistency of results. That's how I did mine. Bottom line, you got to do it by feel. And like I suspected, those leaf springs pretty much do nothing but keep that axle in place. Just for curiosity reason, I dumped the valve all the way, and once the airbag is deflated, like the back end sunk another good 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches. So anyways, long story short, that's what it took for me. I'm just sharing my experiment, and hopefully this will help somebody out there dealing with these airbags. And also, a side note, when you're adjusting them, just you got to do it by the feel. Feel your airbag. It should be, you should have some air in there, but it shouldn't be hard as a rock. You're definitely doing something wrong if it's hard as a rock. Mine, it's hard to explain, but I could put a good dent in the airbag just by pushing it with my thumb. So that gives you a firm idea. Well, that gives you a good idea, how firm my airbags are and what it took for me. Anyways, guys, now I could use the suspension. I'm really happy with it. As always, may the Lord bless you, and may Almighty find day. Ciao, bye.